Recently, NCERT has decided to replace the altered image of the dancing girl from Mohenjo-daro to its original version. Now let's understand what exactly has happened in a very simple manner. Recently, NCERT released its class 9th art textbook. In that textbook, the iconic image of the dancing girl from Mohenjo-daro was modified, wherein certain parts of her body got covered up. Now, this drew attention and criticism from a lot of historians, archaeologists, and educationalists who felt that historical artifacts should be displayed in their original form. And that led NCERT to replace the altered image with the original image in their textbooks. Now let's get to know the dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro first. If you look at the image, so that this dates back to the Harappan civilization from 2600 to 1900 BCE. This iconic sculpture is approximately 4500 years old. That is where you are going to understand that how exactly we have preserved the culture from ancient civilization till now. Currently it is placed at the National Museum in New Delhi. If you look at the image over here, the iconic dancing girl from Mohenjo-daro, there are certain details which we can get to know from seeing this image. The head of the girl is slightly tilted backward. One of her hands is resting confidently on her hips. One hand is lying by the other side. She is wearing a necklace. She is having a bare torso. She is wearing approximately 24 to 25 bangles in one of her hands and 4 to 5 bangles on her other hand. And this image is approximately in the height of 10.8 centimeter, approximately the size of your hand. Now this tells us how exactly we have preserved the ancient sculptures in the modern times. Now let's understand and appreciate that how exactly this sculpture was made. This sculpture was made using a technique known as lost wax casting technique. And you will appreciate the fact that a lot of craftsmen these days in the contemporary times are also using this technique to create sculptures. What is the process of making sculpture using this particular technique? Let's understand. Firstly, we are creating a wax image of the sculpture which we want to create. Then this wax is getting covered up with the clay. Now once it is getting covered up clay and the clay gets hardened up, then we are melting the wax over here and we are taking out and we are creating a cavity. Now in this cavity we are pouring the melted metal, of which metal we are going to create that particular sculpture. For this case, of course, it is bronze. And then once it is cooled down, the clay outside the sculpture is getting out, and then we are getting the iconic sculpture made using the lost wax casting technique. You will appreciate the fact that this was something used by artisans 4,500 years back, which tells how technologically sound the people of Harappan civilization were there. Now let's understand who exactly excavated this sculpture in India. So John Marshall, in the year 1926, who was the Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, excavated this image of dancing girl from the city of Mohenjo-daro, which is currently in Pakistan. Now let's understand, was this girl actually dancing? And why are we calling it as a dancing girl image? Who has given this name? There is no evidence to prove that this image or this girl was actually dancing. But why are we calling it a dancing girl? That tells us that historically we are giving names and associating names to some sculpture on the basis of the version of image who have excavated them, not the persons who have made them. So John Marshall actually resonated the figure with the figure of a traditional nautical girl who were considered to be the dancing in the courtrooms during the British period. And that's why he called this image as a dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro. There are many historians who claim that there is a different interpretation of this particular sculpture. Some of them have been telling that there is no evidence of musical instruments nearby it. There is no evidence which proves this girl was dancing. And that's why there has been multiple interpretations of this particular image. Now currently, what do we know? We know this image, we know about its specifications, we know how old it is, but we do not know what is the history. Who has made this sculpture, what was the reason behind it. And that's where history is completely historical, and the names which are given technically tells us ki what is the mindset of the people who has excavated that artifact, not the people who have created that artifact in its original form. Now tell me in comments, what do you feel, that should we retain the original version of these historical artifacts, or should they be modified according to the current cultural sensibilities? Till the next time, thank you so very much and all the very best.